Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, picture this. You're about to sign a new insurance policy, you've got your pen out, checkbook ready, but do you actually know who you're handing your money to? It's a huge question, right? Today, we're unpacking a super practical tool that puts the power right back in your hands. We're going to walk through exactly how you, yes, you, right from your couch, can quickly and easily verify an insurance agent's credentials in Kansas. And to really understand why this is so critical, let's look at a number that honestly kind of blew my mind. $308.6 billion. That's billion with a B. That is the estimated annual cost of insurance fraud. And hey, if you're thinking, well, that just hurts the big corporate insurance companies, I've got some bad news. These crimes hit our wallets too. Researchers actually estimate that the average person in the U.S. is paying an extra $932 a year in higher premiums, literally just to cover the cost of these fraudulent claims. So those fake insurance policies, they're scams specifically designed to siphon away your hard-earned cash. So that leaves us with the million-dollar question, or I guess the $932 question. How do you protect your wallet from these fake insurance scams? How do you actually build a wall around your financial well-being to keep these deceptive practices out? It sounds like something only law enforcement can handle, but honestly, your absolute strongest defense starts with just a few quick clicks on your smartphone or laptop, way before you ever sign a document or write a check. The Kansas Department of Insurance has this incredibly simple yet effective official anti-fraud campaign, and their slogan just hits the nail on the head. Stop, call, confirm before you buy. Verifying an agent's license is your shield. It proves that the person sitting across the desk from you is legally authorized to do business, they're heavily regulated, and most importantly, they are in good standing with the state right now. So here is our roadmap for this explainer. We'll be covering 1. Understanding the basics. 2. Where to begin. 3. The step-by-step process. 4. What to look for. 5. Alternative resources. And 6. Common pitfalls and tips. All right, jumping into section 1. Understanding the basics. Why agent licenses matter. Let's look at what a license actually is. At its core, an insurance license is simply a state-granted authorization. It's the legal green light allowing an individual or an agency to sell, solicit, or negotiate very specific types of insurance. Now, here's a really fascinating piece of history. Kansas actually has a massive legacy of consumer protection. Way back in 1911, Kansas became the very first state to pass a law regulating the sale of investments. They were trying to protect farming communities from rainmakers, basically traveling fraudsters who promised to make it rain, but really just delivered nothing but blue sky. Today, those are known nationwide as blue sky laws. And that exact same spirit of protecting your personal wealth from deceptive behavior, that is exactly what drives the state's strict insurance licensing today. And the entity enforcing all this is the Kansas Department of Insurance, or KDOI. They heavily regulate the market specifically to protect you as a consumer. This tight statutory regulation of insurance transactions promotes real market integrity, it keeps carriers financially secure, and it ensures that the people selling you a policy are genuinely qualified to do it. Okay, moving on to Section 2. Where to begin navigating the official portals. Your absolute go-to resource here is the State-Based Systems, or SBS Lookup portal. This is by far the most comprehensive database for active insurance credentials in Kansas. It was built in partnership with the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, and what makes it so powerful is that it provides real-time, direct syncing with the KDOI's own regulatory databases. Meaning, when you run a search on here, you are seeing the live, official, up-to-the-minute status of that agent. Which brings us to Section 3, Step-by-Step Process, the License Lookup Walkthrough. Now, I know navigating a government database sounds a little intimidating, but it is actually remarkably simple when you break it down into steps. Think of it like checking the Carfax before you buy a used car. It's quick, easy, and completely vital. Step 1, pull up the SBS portal online. Step 2, set the jurisdiction dropdown to Kansas. Step 3, select licensee as your search type. You're going to see other options there, stuff like company or course, but for finding an agent, you definitely want licensee. Continuing on, Step 4 is identifying the entity type. Just choose individual if you're looking up a specific person, or select business entity if you want to research a brokerage firm or an agency. Step 5 is inputting what you know. And the beauty of this system is that you do not need a ton of information to run a query. You literally just need the agent's first and last name. Or if you happen to have their national producer number, that's their NPN, that works perfectly too. You don't have to fill out every single blank box. Finally, Step 6, hit search and click on their name when it pops up to open their detailed summary profile. All right, on to section 4, what to look for, decoding the search results. So, boom, you found their profile. But what are we actually looking at here? Well, here are the key indicators to check on that summary page. First, and definitely most importantly, verify their status actually says active. You'll also spot their NPN and state license number there. But here's the absolutely critical part to zero in on. Review their active lines of authority, or LOA. Listen, if someone is sitting there trying to sell you a life insurance policy, they must explicitly have life listed right there as an active line of authority. If they only have, say, property and casualty listed, they cannot legally sell you life insurance. No way. You can also verify their active carrier appointments on this page, which just shows you exactly which insurance companies they're officially authorized to represent.
Let's hit section 5, alternative resources, cross-checking information.
It is always smart to have a backup plan, right? So let's look at another official database you can use for broader inquiries just to make totally sure you have all your bases covered. Now, while that SBS portal we just talked about is your primary, highly detailed tool, the state of Kansas also runs the Kansas License Verification Portal through the Department of Administration. This one's a centralized state database, so it actually lets you verify professional licenses across a bunch of different state agencies, not just insurance. To use it, you just filter the licensing body to the insurance department, pop in the name, do a quick little reCAPTCHA security challenge so it knows you're not a robot, and it'll spit out a very simple tabular view showing their current status and expiration date. Finally, let's wrap up with section 6, common pitfalls and tips avoiding mistakes. Let's go over a few insider tips so you don't accidentally misinterpret these results and miss a major red flag. One of the biggest pitfalls we see is people searching for a business entity like the whole agency when they really should be looking up the specific human being sitting across the table from them. See, if you pull up an individual license, their specific lines of authority are explicitly listed out. But on a business entity profile, they aren't listed the same way. An agency's legal transaction power is actually based entirely on the active licenses of its affiliated producers. So, moral of the story, always look up the specific individual agent who is handling your money. It's also super reassuring to know about the strict regulatory safeguards the state enforces behind the scenes. For instance, in Kansas, licensees are legally required to report any address or name changes or any regulatory actions taken against them within 30 days. No exceptions. Plus, applicants have to report any expungements related to insurance fraud. And this is a big one. Before an individual can actually sell insurance for a company in Kansas, they have to secure a company certification, called an appointment, from that specific carrier. So when you see that active status on the portal, it really means something. It means the agent is actively complying with some very tight deadlines and strict rules. In overseeing this entire robust system is the Kansas Commissioner of Insurance. The commissioner's mandate is pretty clear. Regulate, educate, and advocate for a strong competitive market. And it's exactly that kind of centralized, consumer-focused oversight that gives Kansans both choices and security when they're shopping for financial products. Let's be real for a second here. It literally takes less than 2 minutes to use the SBS portal. Just 2 minutes to take control and protect your financial future. I mean, think about it. You wouldn't hand your car keys to an unlicensed mechanic you just met off the street, right? Absolutely not. So why in the world would you hand your personal wealth to an unverified agent? Take the 2 minutes. Apply that same logic to your money. And as we wrap up, just a quick professional reminder, this explainer is for informational purposes only. Please always conduct your own independent research and consult with licensed professionals when you're making financial or insurance decisions. So the next time you're about to sign on that dotted line, ask yourself, are you absolutely certain the person sitting across from you has the legal right to protect your family's future? Remember, stop, call, and confirm.